It's for you, and we're here, and you're here for you, and I'm here for you, and we're all here for us. And let's see, let me go through my...
I said I was going to do the routine, so...
We did the welcoming, serving up fine food, good poetry since 1972. We got that one. Teddy is our host back there, so give a little recognition to Teddy. The way we support this venue is by coming here and having food and drink and sharing and caring and the like, and the like, and the like. The teacher. Wait a minute.
Forgot my other notes.
The teacher, Mr. Richard Larger, where are you with the Queen's Way? There he is. We will talk more about him. And the link on the wall over here takes you to places where you can find all the video connections that we make here. We live stream and all that's there. And there's more information if you want it. I can provide that to you. Please respect the mic, and that means if someone's up here talking, whisper. Also, it might mean that you take your cell phone and put it on vibrate, buzz, or whatever it is, so that way if you don't hear the, the John Philip Sousa march that you embarrassingly put on there by mistake because you did it last night because you're a little on the tight side. So let me just do this for you before my very eyes. Tonight's theme, what was it?
Who remembers? I remember.
Oh, tonight's theme is not a mandatory thing. Last times, first times, and contesting. I don't know what that is.
So last time, first time, contesting. It's something I thought up. God only knows what that means.
If you wish to take pictures or record someone, please ask the person's permission. Thank you. Tonight's theme, we did that. Fabulous door prizes. Oh yes, I'm going to go over those and our never-ending theme. Margaret Mead, who once said, "Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And I say that all the time now because I think that link allows you to have someone else hear whatever you do here, or have someone else be here when they can't be here. It's a way of doing that. It's a way of tuning in.
Fabulous door prizes. As they say in France, hallelujah.
This is appropriate for nowadays. Empire Falls by Richard Russo. I think I remember that name. Isabel Allende, The House of Spirits. So that is a historical novel of note. Some people might like to read that. The Eternal Christmas. This is by Al Nightingale, who actually signed it in here. And he comes here every once in a while. We haven't seen him in a while. So it's very good poetry here. Lyric stuff mostly. And then,
wait a minute, let me get my glasses here. I want to be accurate.
Oh, Jacques Horn, film noir, very good. If you've never seen Jacques Horn, never heard of him, he passed away, right? That's recent, right? Yeah. So this guy, great stuff. He used to come here. He does French and English, but no matter which he did, it was always great.
So that's a great one. And who gifted us with this? Pablo.
Pablo, raise your hand. This is someone who's here tonight, and you'll be glad that he is,
as much as I am. All right.
So, just so that you know that I'm almost done. Almost done. When's he going to stop? I did everything on the list. There's the sign-in sheet there. There should be a pen. Saturday, August 6, 2016, 7 to 9:30 p.m. La Promenade Cafe. This is another open mic that's really nice, and Sherry Rose Walker will be there. Now, this person, she's featured here. I've done things with her before. Really great naturalism. I mean, if you think of, what's that woman who, from the Southwest, who paints the flower? Georgia O'Keeffe. If you think of Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings, you'll have a very good idea of how this person presents the natural world. Right? And, so there's there, and then if you want to know where all the other open mics are, the most recent edition right there. It's online, but there's some here. So I think I'm done. Oh, the other door prizes. Yes, I'm sorry. Someone said, the other door prizes. Correct, the other door prizes. This, if you choose this, you don't like the books, and you want to do something, you can be the last word. That means next week, if you're here, you take the absolute end slot so that you are not gainsaid by no one know how. Choosing the next week's theme, that can be an adventure. If you had anything from peanut butter light bulbs to laundry for those. Mini feature, that means you get about 8 minutes in the second half to hold forth or fifth. And the keynote, which you're going to see in a few minutes, comes up here and kicks the night off by reading a poem that is not. They come back at the open. So there you go. Another round of applause. Whoever's coming up next, get that going. And
Keynote, Mr. Owen Dunkel is going to come forth even as I cease speaking. Give him a round, please. Brave of him to do this in front of an audience like you folks. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I forget.
This is a poem by Wallace Stevens. The title is in French, and my French isn't very good, but Steve here translated it for me. It says, "C'est pour que c'est Madame sans Ursula est un éléance bien vierge." What's that mean? What's that mean, Steve?
Can I see it?
Yes.
Here is the portrait, Madame Saint Ursule and the 11,000 virgins. Here's the portrait of Madame Ursule and the 11,000.
Anyway, that's what it means.
11,000.
This is a poem by Wallace Stevens. Ursula in a garden found a bed of radishes. She kneeled upon the ground and gathered them, with flowers around, blue, gold, pink, and green. She dressed in gold red and gold brocade, and in the grass an offering made of radishes and flowers. She said, "My dear, upon your altars I have placed the marguerite and coquelicot, and roses frail as April snow. But here," she said, "where none can see, I have made an offering in the grass of radishes and flowers." And then she wept, for fear the Lord would not accept. The good Lord in his garden sought new leaf and shadowy tinct, and they were all his thought. He heard her low accord, half prayer and half ditty, and he felt a subtle quiver that was not heavenly love or pity. This is not writ in any book. Okay, thank you very much.
Throw and not go. Oh, here. Put your name. Oh, you just saw. Oh, here's the pen. You just saw me give him the little sheet there. That's if you read a poem by someone else, I give you that so you can tell me the name of the poem and the author and who you are. So I don't always call the poem "The Charge of the Light Brigade" by William Wordsworth Pappenheimer. All right, so thank you, Owen. Give him another round as he sits down there and gets ready. That was nice. Monastery Thugs. Monastery Thugs.
Monastery Thugs.
Monastery Thugs. Thank you so much. Give him a nice round. This is Mr. Monastery Thugs.
Alright, so I've done a piece called Zero Speech before, which I might do, but I just wanted to also read a little bit more about Zero Speech because I've been writing this long piece called The Christmas Coast, which is somewhat satirical about the holiday. Anyway, so here's a mention of Zero Speech because I went by it more than once. It's time for home invasion, Zero's Beach. Just because it's Christmas, the plunder shouldn't stop. I'm barging in unannounced. We're wanted badly, but we didn't do it. Maybe we'd be welcome like a rare stamp displayed. And we've always struggled to find the right fit. It might be we fit in right here in the town, barely a settlement circle on the king of the road now.
Yeah.
Place of agates. When I thought the rose to be a flower, perhaps a red anemone, sea rose, it turned out to be a stone. And there had been an agate shop as well, the stones arranged in order of importance. You have the one I want. What was once so open for business is now open to invasion. Well, we'll find it. We know you have it. I want it. Where's it hidden? What have you done with it? I know it's here in this house by the sea, and I'm exhausted. The beauty of deep red. I remember Ciro's, yes. Not a town, not a plant, but a hard thing, hard to find. Won't you help? Why did you close the shop? And what have you done with it, Ciro's? And what have you done all together? While we're lucid and still asleep, you'll turn it over and not be mad at us. In dreams, it's possible, though the house belongs to someone else. Easy enough. The owner's even serving tea and asking questions. Where are you heading for? Oh, why don't you stay a while and rest here with us? Come on out on the deck and relax, why don't you? The man and wife were Jewish, East Coasters. 'Twas the Red Circle, I said. What? The Red Circle made us think it was a town there on the map. Ciro's Beach. Was the night before. Hey, well, we celebrate it too, and just to prove it, here's your gift. Here is the red agate you've desired. And it was, finally, and it was gorgeous. More tea? Yeah, make it rose hips. Okay, that's it.
That's actually Steve Arnstein, but, you know, when I ask about his aliases, he says, I got 1 million of them. So, you know, we've only heard a few 100,000 so far in our lives together over the eons. I'm going to be the next 5 people so that they know who they are and where they are and like that, so they don't get caught by surprise like sometimes I do. Like this morning when I woke up and went into the bathroom and there I was again in the mirror. Thank God for that. I would forget who I was. All right. So, the next 5 people, we have David Zeltzer, Marta, Owen, Pablo, Stephanie, then Steve O, Carolyn, David E, and then Pilsner von Bierbrot. That's me. That's my alias, Pilsner von Bierbrot. Yeah, I know. I thought you'd appreciate that. All right, so give David a round of applause as he comes up here. And let me just adjust this in accord with your preferences and alliances and your relevancies. Huh? There we go. Look at that.
Good evening. It's great to see so many of you here tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
So, as usual, I'll read a poem I wrote about 40 years ago, and then another one that's a little more recent than that. The Pocket Calculator. We're spread too thin. I can't make sense of these phantoms from the depth of the page. What animals crawling on their bellies toward me? My terrible weapons make sense now. I'm in a craft skimming over water. The blue overwhelms me. I ask for your hand. You pass me a gun. I hear footsteps. A sickness haunting me. Sunlight too bright to see. I'm an old man. I can't read or remember my grandfather. The books. What did we used to sing? Your coat is so beautiful, yes. The one you wear in spring. But we've no time for that now. A buzz from someone's inner ear startles me. Your ear approaches. Dogs bark. The wailing of a banshee drives me to a premonition of my father's death. Upside down, unable to move the car. A wave of fleshy hailstones. Don't offer me resistance. It's you who speak now. You wish to exchange our bodies. But it's not the mystic hour, and we're not made of salt. We're towers of hair at 10 o'clock. Friends for good now in darkness, shivering together in this lantern tear. I mount a flight of steps, prepare to be concrete. You who are Christ know why I can't touch you. Later on we play cards, frozen solid forever. I take a pill, things are still the same. We make love, then sleep. I cultivate a nervousness, waiting for the hour. Suddenly I can relax. I understand this fatal dust, my God, and the time it takes a body to decay. And I say you, because I fear all names. I say you, and I mean the soul obscure. I say you when it's time to go. I come to you when I need to. You're a blank file, an emptiness. We make pictures with empty arms. It's enough to make them never see them. For you're wonderful, the most pleasing around. Our friendship is a true decaying film. And then I say, good night, is all in order? And then I say, all flowers are a cardinal at play. Looking for a memory, I say, all flowers are a carnival. Memory at play, I say, good night. All is in order. Good night. Thank you. Morning sunshine. Morning sunshine is too small. Too small for the spaceship calling your name to every planet it passes. There is only one snowflake that knows your name. I'm stunned every time I have to say, it's beautiful, but not this one. I stroke your gentle skin, wrap a vast dream around a child, and laugh all night. Your smile opens a book I read over and over. I draw one line on one of its pure white pages, and it tells me a story beginning with your panting breath. Once I crawl across the path and become an antelope leaping so far away, I wonder how I can ever find my way back to you. But I know the morning sun shines always on this stone that warms the palm of my hand. I've heard your breathing so many times. My heart is an empty bottle only you can fill with rain and honey. Thank you.
Wow. Rain and honey. That's David Zeltzer. Thank you. Now I forgot, is Sierra here? Sierra? Because she was going to come back to be the mini feature tonight, so she may be late or something. No one's going like this, and so something's here. A mystery's in the house, or not in the house. Marta, why don't you come on up, please, to our next... Marta? Wait, is she new? This is her first time here, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, you know what we do here. Come on. I didn't hear animal noises, the pounding of the table, clinking of glasses. Sorry.
Well,
Good evening.
good evening. I'm going to read a poem by my friend Mario Savioni because he's working, he cannot be here, and he's the one who's brought me to San Francisco, to this very lovely city. And I'm very grateful to Stephanie and to Perry because they told me about the secret grounds.
Well, thanks to them that you're here. You want to get closer to the mic? Just we can raise that. Can someone raise that? That way, she will be welcomed in the proper course of due courseness. Never let the mic be soundless. All right.
Okay, here we go. Tears connect. Tears connect. Like old friends, some started helping me. Through the sands of time, there was light, water from the shadows, sandy escape. Only time could tell as I began. I listened to my chords, from hot to cold, a smoky journey, landscape bare. Through the tuning fork were invisible mirrors in the sand. I stood before a masterpiece in red. I grazed my hands upon the canvas. People thought I was crazy. I spoke to myself and grabbed my head. Children were afraid. I fell, and for the longest time, no one picked me up. Then someone finally called. I am just not well. Knowing as much as I do, so I run from you. Into the empty space, combing the planet, raising my arms. Hear me. What is within my soul that speaks to yours?
You have 4 more minutes if you want to read something else. You have another 4 minutes in case you want to read something.
Read a poem of mine?
Yeah. Why not? I thought I wasn't able to listen clearly, so I didn't know that wasn't yours. I'm sorry. My bad, as they say. I realized that. I didn't know.
If I can't find it, I'll read another one.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm sorry we didn't have a chance
Next
to
time I'll
revise.
read mine because I
Yes.
have to find it here and don't know what it is.
You want me to tell a joke while you're doing that? No, focus on the artist. Do not distract people from the mic.
Huh?
Or
Okay, so
whatever, you know what I mean.
here's another one.
All right.
It's ugly beautiful. I played the moon on a busy street, got the sun shining. I played a song so that the people listening had to make a choice. Was it good or bad? They listened to the repetitive bars, wondered in their minds if they liked it or hated it. They kept listening because there were riffs that reminded them of something that they heard. They couldn't tell on the whole if it was music or some child playing an instrument. This went on for many minutes under the hot sun as people sat in a cafe and stood in a bookstore. Finally a woman came over to the man whose back was turned. She told him how assaulted she was. It was too loud, not that it was pleasant or music.
For the poem that wasn't yours, then you just put your name and the name of the poem. And just get it back to me when you can. Thank you so much. Give her a nice round. Bravura or something. Isn't that the right word for that? Being brave, bravura? All right, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Owen Dunkel's coming back to the Open. Like I said, the person who does the keynote comes back for the Open because it's reasonable. Give him a nice round of applause, please, as he comes up here. And then we have Stephanie, Steve, David, Pilsner, Ambrose, and then our feature of the evening. Wonderful stuff.
Thank you. Sonnet, Sunday 7. It was in, out of our time, I jumped in the train. Another Sunday, rain made my eyes blur. Speak of mine to the sun-filled chimes, an hour or so to gain, of drinking again in Spain. Climbing up gargoyles to sublime excesses of the cap and bells. Gaudiamus Igitur, all sing to the sea. We wait for ants to cast their spells here and there. Leaves of green pea stare upward with eyes of stars as half-mad tenants pour from bars. Sonnet, Sunday 7. I am between a vague promise to the park of trees and paths, out of the reach of the wrath of Muse Calliope's sharper demises, to dog-eared flowers and surmises of her happy vanity that hath more thorns and thistles than math. The love I love that has more surprises than a beautiful girl who has written to her love-proud verses, charging across the page. She is smitten with rage and grief, curses, trying to please God's crumpet. Fair princess, fair maiden, thou strumpet. Christian sonnet. In the year of crowded fame and cacophonous voices, 2002, ending on his funny duo of joy and overwork. Scant acclaim went riding out on sunny flames to slushy weather, fog and dew. Together on the street, Christian and Jew, riding together on their same differences. Her hair long, his too short, pitching together both wrong. She practical, he a snorting skinhead. Erect together the day long, a benighted couple. Day I turn from, the sky is gray. Day gaze of dark-eyed Buddha. Quail and seagulls walk together around a gray clouded sky, afar off to westward Hawaii, afar off eastward to China. Cocky freighters, lonely tankers, give way to new areas of the anterior mind. Wondering how some of these men keep their proud, lonely vigils to themselves. Their vision of slickers, oars, and dory boats speak proudly, thinking of kimonos and martini-drinking mermaids and roaring tattoos of some World War II war bride. Yes, hypnotic waves stand still today as they did yesterday, as a couple, like the small couple on top of a wedding cake, across the lawn to evermore and yesterday. A quiet salute to the soothing vacuity of impending Christmas and roistering New Year, and give way to blustering windy January and the impenetrable dark gray sky that can last forever. I am searching for a metaphor to be alive in the dust of wintry snowfall.
Something very quick.
Sorcery. A chick looks heavenward towards Michelangelo's ceiling of David. The sky needs fixing. She commands. Herod. His mind set to matter causes the magic ceiling to make matters worse, to dance, a mild tremor of accusation.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Thank you very much.
All right. Whoa, baby. Thank you. And now, a person of note, history, merit, and means, method, and madness. Pablo Rosales, would you kindly come up over here? He wasn't expecting an introduction. I wasn't either. Thank you, Mr. Pablo Rosales.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. As Dan mentioned, a really close friend of mine, Jacques Horn, he's a French poet and filmmaker, passed away recently, about a month ago. He was overtaken by cancer. This is the second bout with it, and 10 years ago he had it, and then it came back, and unfortunately he didn't survive the chemo process. It was just too tough for him. So we had a wonderful memorial, a celebration of his life, art and poetry in Sausalito. Just last weekend or so, and it was very beautiful, and it's where he would write, and we have little impromptu readings too with some friends and so forth, so it was a nice setting. And so I brought a CD of his that I produced for him, so it's going to be up for the raffle, so if you like to hear it, I think you get a kick out of it.
Oh yeah.
Some of it is in French. And the cover is from a very famous spot in San Francisco. It's basically an art house that's run by Catalina and Sal, who are here tonight too. So you get to know them too over there.
There they are. I thought I saw them.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to hear them read.
Well, that's my plan.
So this is a poem that I wrote for Jacques. Again, he's a filmmaker, and I call it Film Noir for Jacques Horn. I love you, my friend. I miss you, my friend. If I was a woman, I'd probably French kiss you, my friend, just to see you again. The quintessential party animal, though he doesn't quite fit the description or stereotype. That is, until he smiles. That charming, disarming, alarming smile that only a Cheshire cat would dare to emulate, but even still with the need to rehearse over and over just to get it right. On the other hand, for Jacques, a joyful expression always came easy, effortlessly, an instant reflex attuned to his enduring philosophy of living in the moment. Even when he wasn't smiling, his eyes would twinkle happy like that of a gleeful child. Gentle eyes that mirror life's beauty and filters its harsh realities through a soft romantic prism, flashing the steady strobe light of love fantasia projected onto a wide screen of people with open hearts and hopeful souls. Romantic interludes blinking in Super 8 clicks, zany scenes captured in 8mm footage of perforated oxide, filmed at 18 frames per second, overlays in sepia, in black and white, in living color, a superimposed green sequence shot in panoramic cinemascope. He later settled for video, but never no CGI, just the real deal. A day in his life is akin to a personal film art project, an artsy-fartsy, fanciful French indie flick with English subtitles, a film biopic of Le Philanthrope de Francais, the French philanthropist, or about a humble, happy-go-lucky Harbour Town local yoko possessing a poetic license to lie and cheat, because all is fair in love and in movies. Call this one film noir for the mysterious theater of the dark void, which we all must enter and take a seat. Or call it the road to Chattanooga after his final surreal destined bound procession. A private screening at Caravita and Sal's place awaits all those who wish to reminisce about Jacques. For these he bequeaths the director's cut, the final cut, soundtrack by Miles Davis, Charles Mingus, Andre, and Pablo, starring Jacques as our lovable protagonist. Screenplay by Jacques, filmed and edited by Jacques, and directed, of course, by Jacques. Roll the credits. Sweet baguette. Testing, testing. The city is a woman. Chocolate pearls. In the mood. The features of you. Wild rose. Demons and marvels. Life in reverse. A salad and free verses. Living in the moment. Okay, folks. That's a wrap. Fade to black. The end. Coming to the theater near you. The theater of your heart and soul. Heart and soul. Thank you very much.
Pablo Rosales. Tribute to John Corn, boys. Thank you. Thank you. And we're just getting warmed up. Can't believe it. Every time this happens. And now Stephanie Manning will hold forth. Give her a nice round. Then we have Steve and David, Pilsner, Ambrose, sorry.
Okay, hello everybody. So
hello, Stephanie.
Yesterday was James Baldwin's birthday, so I figured I'll read a few poems by James Baldwin. Here's a couple of pictures for those of you who are too young to remember James Baldwin.
Oh yeah. Jimmy's Blues.
And just read what this says. James Baldwin is justly famous for the hard-hitting candor of his essays about race relations in his native USA during the final simmering decades of the Jim Crow era. The stepson of a Harlem pastor, yet openly gay abroad in France and Istanbul, Baldwin also wrote a small number of poems, the rare gypsy manuscript from his youth, plus Jimmy's Blues, his trademark searing honesty about how one will have no choice but to face life combines with the cadences of a black American upbringing, the presence of the blues and gospel. So anyway, here's a couple of poems by James Baldwin.
All right.
He was once at a meeting I was at. Very interesting to see him. And this is called The Sporting Club de Monte Carlo for Lena Horne. The lady is a tramp, a camp, a lamp. The lady is a sight, a night, a fight. The lady, devastated an alley or two, reverberated through the valley which leads to me and you. The lady is the apple of God's eye. He's cool enough about it, but he tends to strut a little when she passes by. The lady is a wonder, daughter of the thunder, smashing cages, legislating rages with the voices of ages, singing us through. And there's one more called The Giver.
Yeah. Jimmy.
If the hope of giving is to love the living, the giver risks madness in the act of giving. Some such lesson I seem to see in the faces that surrounded me. Needy and blind, unhopeful, unlifted, what gift would give them the gift to be gifted? The giver is no less adrift than those who are clamoring for the gift. If they cannot claim it, if it is not there, if their empty fingers beat the empty air, and the giver goes down on his knees in prayer, knows that all of his giving has been for naught, and that nothing was ever what he thought, and turns in his guilty bed to stare at the starving multitude standing there, and rises from bed to curse at heaven, he must yet understand that to whom much is given, much will be taken, and justly so. I cannot tell how much I owe. And one more, or a couple. Okay, one more called Amen. No, I don't feel death coming. I feel death going, having thrown up his hands for the moment. I feel like I know him better than I did. Those arms held me for a while, and when we meet again, there will be that secret knowledge between us.
And someone has the attribution page out there somewhere that I don't know who has that. Oh no, the sheet that people write down their names on the poems and stuff. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Thank you so much, Stephanie. James Baldwin. Wow. Steve O'Carrollin. Steve O'Carrollin to the microphone, please. Steve.
Okay, I got 3 pieces about Mary Louise Irwin.
There we go. And thank you, Mr. Erdreich, for your kind considerations.
Yeah, thanks. She died Saturday morning. The morning after I heard Mary died, I saw a big, strong tap dance walking along carrying his wooden dancing board. I had heard he had been there at the end. I thought, talk to him. Then I thought, don't talk to him. Then I thought, oh hell, talk to him. So I said, what happened to Mary? He said, we found her and someone said she's not breathing. So I tried to use the police box, but it wasn't working. So I went to the station. But by that time, by the time they came, she was dead. They couldn't revive her. She had been friends with a guy named Ken. They had hung out together. One of her friends was so upset by her death he spent the whole day crying. She was a little frail to be out here. She liked that vodka. The combination was too much for her. And her mother was due to come to town in a week from Phoenix, Arizona. She almost got a new lease on life. I couldn't think of anything else to say. I thought tap dance seemed strong enough to survive all these cold, foggy nights. I wonder if he ever drank like Mary. I have seen Mary down vodka like it was water on a hot summer day after a long walk in the pulverizing rays. I thanked tap dance and he went on. I passed the usual crowd in the morning at the Trieste. Life has to go on now without Mary. Tim Doyle was friends of Mary Louise Irwin, even though she pushed him with her legs out of the loft bed when he was half asleep, and he hit a footstool and broke his collarbone. They hurt each other a lot, but they stayed friends even if they stopped being lovers. Tim took a video of her climbing off the sink in his room, naked. She looked lovely, with a dancer's body, slim and pale and as perfect as a lily. When she was drinking, she was so affectionate. She would kiss my neck or my cheek, and I suffered her to come unto me like I was an icy cold old monk, and she was a beautiful girl in a kimono. She was very upset she could not have children. She was in her late 40s, but she didn't look old at all. She dressed like a creative art student in funny striped socks and form-clinging dresses that almost showed her breasts from the side. She is gone, and Tim wants me to write this statement, but I cannot do her justice. I wish I could feel her hand on my shoulder again. She knew how to be loving. She, like me, was a trained writer. She instantly found the same mistakes in Tim's writing that I found. She had an excellent education, University High on the hill of Pacific Heights, and BU, and semesters in Thailand and Belgium. What a waste to have such a gifted girl die so young. Vodka can be pure poison. And here's the last one. Mary was a daffy girl. She liked to collect the stickers those crummy students like to slap on signs. I thought of them as garbage. Mary treasured them in notebooks. She put them amid her spare, stark poems. She wrote poems like she was skating on a narrow, hard river, or like going up Zion Canyon, getting more constricted, hoping there's no flash flood. She wore rainbow sneakers and was not afraid to step over the litter and waste of this wild, untamed world. She slept in my room for almost a week 3 years ago when she had no place to stay. I was deeply shocked when she would talk in her sleep, as plain as can be. I need to find that little ridgy key that just fits in the lock just so. I was astonished and a little scared. I got her to move into a rehab center, the Blue House, called Steps. She was there mostly unhappy for a year and a half. She worked as a barista at Pete's, a hard, intense job, but she did it. She saved her money. Then she lived with Frenchie, Elaine Duncan, and they got involved in some serious drinking. And several times Mary, Mother of God, had seizures. Now she's gone like a child, talking to herself, trying to find a show of real courage.
Nicely done. Steve O'Carolan. Thank you. Major kindness, the recognition of people.
When I get at the 4-minute mark, if you think about it, put a fist up in the air. How old is it?
I'll start with a haiku.
Thank you.
How refreshing when an artist speaks for less than the allotted time. This is for Greg Marai, at age 52, died of a heart attack less than 2 months ago. A brilliant East Bay arranger and leader. And also for Eddie Anderson, who died also less than 2 months ago, was a beautiful tenor in the Berkeley Broadway Singers, for which I've sang for 15 years, and he was there from the start. Beautiful souls, both of them. This is for them.
That brings us to Pilsner von Bierbrot, which is me. I apologize for that nomenclature. Well, my mom would have me apologize. Danny, don't say things like that. You don't know what you're talking about. Now she does. Okay. So thank you for being here. I'm glad you're having a good time. If you haven't signed in on the open mic list, then the space before the break is filled, so then you can just come up at the break and put your name in, because I know there's a few people out there. I put a few people in, but I don't know if there's other people there. So. Okay. I'm going to start with some haiku just for the heck of it. (29) 13, 57, 78, haiku. My mother thinks too. Pink balloon floats along backyards, one by one, setting dogs to bark. True story. And from my childhood, water strider, a kick ripples the moon. The summer moon. Wooden monkeys for sale. Gunpowder wafts through cold fog. Drums for the dragon. And this is for your party animals out there. I always want to say party animal. Oh, well, the cigarette smashed out in the guacamole the morning after. Okay, so this is my political PN. How do you say that? P-A-E-N. Is that right? PAN? PAN. PAN? Thank you. Ambrose?
Some take me
Well, that's an old joke, but I'll save it for the end. So we're at a crossroads of sorts. We have the luxury of watching a real idiot. And so, not that he will ever have the chance to do anything, rest assured. It will not happen. You can bet on that. I'll take odds of 100 to 1 tonight that he will never sit. But if he did, this is what we might face. 3 billion years in the making. Long after time, what is? Long, long from now, when all that is now is forgotten, more than simply buried in the mind or the earth, more than simply covered up but gone, truly dissolved to the immense passages of time during which the earth has completely reformed its surface and is done turning under its continents, when every human thing has vanished beyond all hope of ever being found, when no living thing recalls our peculiar smell or fear, and life has recovered all that was lost, when all that is now is absolutely gone beyond anyone's knowledge of what once was, is, or might yet be, long after time, when there is no forgiving or forgetting, when the quiet world simply rests through its long horizon, and the moon casts down innocent light, where winds are gentle and the forests have come back into their own. Long after all that we dream of, when even the greatest of our myriad possessions have been broken down into the smallest of grains, and so have become part and parcel to the earth, and each is simply moved by the wind or the water, and all has been absorbed by and recycled millions of times through plants and animals,
that make up the living carpet of life that is upon this world, when there's no evidence of any kind, when matter is so purified until purity is no longer a relative term, and all is well. Long after time has gone, when it is no longer a measure, when measuring is no longer needful, when counting is as forgotten as numbers, and sense is a term applied only to the eyes, ears, tongue, nose, or touch. Long after time, what is? What will be? What peace itself is the only thing, and nature is let to do what it does best after the recycling of all we once were, has erased all the details and leveled the playing field once and for all. Long after time, what is the chance that our earth will decide to try once more to weave spirit into matter, manifesting such illumination as bring consciousness into life, and if not in human form, then certainly with a prayer that this time its promise will be kept. Thank you.
All right. That brings us to Ambrose. Ambrose Moeller, kindly step forward, please. Give him a round as he comes up, and after him we have our feature, the Honorable Right and Just Mr. Richard Loringer.
Hello.
Hello.
We've got a few poems here, a couple of new ones. We're a bunch of luckies, my mother would say. It's fun to be us, but you have to know how, was another of her sayings. Now she's a knight of arts and letters in a foreign country with many blockbusters to her, major blockbusters to her name. She gets the full screen when the credits roll, and she lives in a chateau with a moat. As of yet, I haven't been to visit. I live in a garage typing poems, drinking beers, and painting an occasional picture. Sometimes they sell. I smoke cigarettes for my nerves, about a pack a day. I thank you, Mother, as any good son would do, for pushing me into alcoholism. I think about what I'd otherwise have become, and I shudder. I drink this beer for you. Here's one from my book, Suffer the Amion. Walking windy nights, talking trash in crowded bars, losing many fights, clashing with the bartender, coming home from a 3-day bender, cussing out the passing cars, lucky in my loss, knowing what was at stake. I yearned to burn like Icarus, but only got wet in the rain. 86th, I went back again. It's all that kept me sane. Here's another. I drank a sea of booze, and butane left me sick. I lapped her sex and butthole too, aboard the SS Dick. No samurai in olden times could shoot a bow so well. She took me down with zen-like ease. My knife hand brought no peace. So still today I think of her. I tag the depths of hell with images of flowers and of her sex as well. I drank a sea of booze, and butane left me sick. I filled her sex and butthole too with every inch of prick.
I forgot to tell you he was romantic.
Very. Alabaster white and icy cold, trembling fingers, they do what they're told. A gaze that lingers on something entombed. Drinking breakfast, alone in a room. Icy cold fingers that subtly mock, gazes undress you when you take a walk. One more.
All right.
I rode a lot of buses, trains, and drunks, and witnessed the slow twisting and wringing of the human being into functional nullity. And some became short-circuited, ruination, dressed in horror, people like crabs or insects with wings torn out, people who'd had their mother-kissed faces driven hard across the curb. Bodies blossoming disease and minds shattered like a dog on a freeway. Men and women like sheep with scrapie. And then there were those whose disconnection was so complete that one wondered how it were possible they avoided all the barbed wire, all the traps. They were the stray dogs of a city, and we were all looking for somebody, and love had abandoned us, and we rode the buses, trains, and drunks, and we couldn't get out. Thank you.
Thank you. And there's more. I'm going to go up and read the land. Sorry, it's all right. I planned this.
All right, this is one of my favorite parts of the evening, where I get to brag on somebody in public and they have to sit there going, oh, I wasn't in the lampshade, it wasn't me. Honestly, no, not lampshades. Richard Loranger is a fine poet. If I was going to cut it short, I'd stop there. But you know me, probably get me to shut up in front of my.
Oh, look at that. There you go. I'm out of time. You know what? It's still moving. Wait a minute. Stop that.
Oh yeah, that's not mine. It is this one. I know what to do. Hold the battery. Anyway, so sorry about this. See, he's smart. I like this guy. So in the write-up that I did for him, one of the things that I said is he can be loud or not, funny or not, serious or not, mystical or not, crazy, witty or not, too clever or not. So he has this range on all these different scopes. Shall I say scopes?
I've had a scope recently.
I don't want too much information. But this is a great poet, and you're going to have a good time with this, and he's going to have a good time, so we're all going to win. And after he's done, we'll tell you a few more things that are coming up. But this is a great poet. Give Richard Loranger a substantial round of applause. Substantial round of applause.
I have to shorten it.
You did?
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Richard.
Are you a poet?
I'm from Oakland.
That's almost the same thing.
12-step, thank you. Let me start this. I want to watch my time, too.
Oh, you do?
I want to thank you, Dan, for, not for the introduction, but for asking me to come. I'm honored to be here, even though I haven't been here for a while. I used to come when I was closer. I also have featured here a few times, not for a few years.
Yeah.
The earliest note I can find of featuring here is somewhere about step on it. If you put it on the ground.
I'm so tired of this. I've been calling it names that never would have.
The earliest time I can find that I featured was somewhat March of 1987, because I used to come here in the 80s. It was run by God, or whoever was God at that time.
Yeah, I remember him. The beard and everything, and the flies in the soup.
Her.
There. Oh, I'm talking about somebody else.
Today,
yeah, that's a different person.
All right, so
Johanna Wedgwood, you mean?
Not at that time.
Oh,
in the 80s.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm losing all my time. So
No, I haven't started.
You haven't started?
No. Now we're starting.
Hi. So I'm going to read all from a new book. Books are like a big deal. They're hard to come by. I mean, like you have to blows somebody, I think. Why am I looking at you up?
he tells me the same thing.
But I have a new book from Zeitgeist Press,
All right.
which is called Sudden Windows, and that's what it looks like.
And there are copies here, I'm led to believe.
Stack of them, probably too big a stack. But in case you like these stuff, feel free to even just peruse. But you can also take one home. They're prose form pieces that I call flash prose. Only because, we all know prose poems, but some of them aren't really prose poems. I don't know, they're all different things. So they all look like this. They look like rectangles, which is why it's called Sudden Windows. And there's all different types and all different subjects. A lot of them are pretty contemplative, though. So if anybody's seen me screaming on stage, you're not going to get much of that tonight. Sorry. Maybe afterwards in the street. Okay. They have none of them have any titles. If you pick up the book, though, you might see some pages that look like they have titles, but they're not really titles of the pieces. They're all untitled. Those are like chapter titles. They're all really short, less than a minute each. I'll read 12 or 15, I don't know, something. And I just want to say, to save yourself from tendinitis, let's not do applause in between, because I get tired of it, and in fact I got tendinitis from clapping too much. So fair warning. I'm going to start this up.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
So here are some Sudden Windows. Hello. If you choose to read this page, any month, may it kindle your senses, Serrano and lavender, chalk and loam, and travel you well. May it somehow please. For me, it is water passing through, steam and gush, runnel and run. I am building streams, building without pummeling. I am allowing to build. I am building what builds. I am letting. I am breathing. I am building with steam. I begin with wisps.
Oh, sorry.
And clouds roll in. And I'm glad. For autumn rain smells like the start of everything. And dark days are the time for all the dust to settle. Sweet, sweet the air, and safe to open chest to amity. When trees drink clouds, and dry ground soaks, and we can sense effulgence down the road, how can we not enjoy the dropping of all things and the sleek sweep of pungent breeze? I'd like to lie down in the street and shine.
And you do.
Just because the days are good, it's one of the least popular ones. Just because the days are good doesn't mean we should forget the fist smack in the face and brow clubbed with the butt of the hand. These are the ways of men who are not yet men, and they run freely on the land. Who else are not yet human? All of us. Don't kid yourself. There's rarely been a more vain and lethal misconception. Rather, sit in the grass, lie in the leaves, and say, what makes me the same as dirt? Then put some in your mouth to make sure. This one's almost 4 years old because it was written on the night of Obama's re-election. Some bougie place with cute everyone's at midnight on a Tuesday in downtown LA. Doors blasting, and Obama is back. Smiles and hope all around again for a moment. Still, Homeless line the streets. Whole cities of cardboard boxes, as if there's anything not normal about that. 1 billion humans living in heaps, soon to be tenfold, dung and webs and mud-caked walls as it was, now it shall be. And here, the sorbet flows amidst intelligence and speech. And we ask, where are the angels? Do they come from muck or form the luck of ages? Crawled forth from worms, we wander into doorways, and how we find, what we find, determines how we shine. Please, meander. And as you do, ask yourself where your shoes came from. Then run. See why there are windows? I'll tell you later.
Okay.
A call from Germany and a death in the family. Knowing one has happened and knowing one will. Knowing at all. A month is a collection of air and spare tongs. And waiting in the wings will not spare you. Waiting wings tear and gather, flare and drift. We are in the midst of mortal care, where calls and diagnoses lurk and breeze. Let's have a cup of coffee and a pear, and stare the fatal mare right in the eye. No titles.
We can do air applause.
6 minutes, 20%. Early plum is bitter. Early rose is tart. April light roves from sharp to glow as the month matures. Fleeting rain pelts the windows, then lifts infused with jasmine and fresh grass. Bougainvillea stuns. Clouds break, and the softest breeze strokes the arms and face, all the air sublime. Sometimes we need profundity, and sometimes just a lavender day.
Yeah.
Let's skip that one. Let's do, yeah. What's that?
What about the screaming one?
This man knows. After the bricks are scattered, we have many choices. We can try to put them back in place, piece by broken piece. We can kick them around in the dust. We can wander through the rubble greeting each other. But whatever we choose, come Tuesday, it will still rain with sudden force. You will leave the stew too long on the stove. There's a scream in there. That small bird with one white wing will fly into your house. And yet, we still go around greeting each other. As if the next breath might hold the perfect mix of rose and rosemary. Or a music you've never heard that lights up your entire brain. Why? Because it could. It's like change of tone slightly. I'm in a Greek restaurant on Coptic Street, and the gorgeous piano player is staring at me as he plays. Plays beautifully. And I imagine how beautifully he might play. I'm wondering how tall he is. I'm wondering how slim or broad. No way to tell. But his brow is broad and gentle. Eyes dark. He lets nothing appear to the diners, but looks again and again. Dark eyes always directly in my eyes. And the melody swings from wild to stark to slow and sensual to wild. I am wondering. My food arrives. Everything tastes like heaven. I eat my chicken like a savage. True story. Oh yeah, that's my favorite part. Walk up to the edge of sea and throw a stone. Throw an old beer can. Throw yourself. And as you're sailing, grab the strand and take it with you. Rip it off the earth in a giant sheet of sand, rocks, grass, roots and all, those shrubs and reeds, the path to the road itself, and the marsh across, the concessionaire down the road, and that little village further on. The hills to the north, and what the hell, the whole county, and the river and its factories and the city beyond. And if you've got the wrist for it, if you've got the grip, keep pulling and peel the whole continent off and trail it behind you and with you as you plunge into sea. Fold it all in.
You have the wrist.
My heart's a snowball rolling downhill, and holy shit, what a tumble. It's a mudslide, a runaway train, a blast furnace off its struts. It flips and scatters everywhere, through and around. It keeps on flipping. It gobbles forests and gnaws the foundations of this city. It cracks the infrastructure. It laughs to topple towers. It's splitting hairs. It chases the tail off a goose. It's walking into your parlor with a gate-cracking grin. It says, "Hello, I'm a comet," and tears your house away. It's voracious. It's a goddamn glutton for everything. It's a shrike, a kamikaze cannibal, a metamorph tsunami, and it's breaking on February with a mouth of flame. Self-portrait.
I thought so. I didn't want to say anything.
I write myself out of a box and write myself into another. I have two mouths, one on either side of my face, and they are both singing. This is a condition of being. Our neighbor, who was lost in the floods of Oaxaca, used to spin the finest pots in town. Now he collects sticks at the bottom of a stream. That is a box too, though one with crumbling sides. So why don't we just go out dancing for a change and let loose in the chambers of the world? That might be better than sitting at home waiting for rain. Or at least healthier. A few more, and if there's time I'll do a last one, but I got 4 more on the list. I could say hurtle again, but I'd rather say plain, as in make smooth. I'd rather say raise, say sheer. I could say hurdle, but I'd rather say sand, say glass, glaze, the sung ring of glaze, or luster. At any rate, nothing that a kiln can't blaze. I'd rather say blaze. I'd rather say myrtle. I'd rather say luster. I'd rather say May. This one's a calm one. Okay. Floating, drifting, hovering between. I place my hand in the room of mist and sway it. Is this the one I wanted? Yeah, I'll do this one anyway. Sorry. Floating, drifting, hovering between. I place my hand in the room of mist and sway it back and forth, feeling the moisture gather on my wrist. The pulse is light, and I am flight itself, leaving, sliding between molecules of air, through skin, through brick and bone. What lives we have are so unseen, not body, barely sheen. And so it takes a strength of mind to keep the rock core of surety staunch. Pity the sad memes who need their ivied halls, their big-wheeled twucks, their constant seams to seam themselves into being. My dears, you are here. Rest liquidly in that. And if you drift through real. And if you leap, you do so, bodily or no. And when you pounce with the sure smack of life, sliding between, insubstantive, unrecognized, surprised. I don't get that one either. Oh, this one echoes. At the heart of this month blooms a myrtle. I am saying that because I want it to be. And in that way, I have made the world for an incomprehensibly small moment. And that is how the world is made. Not by people, not by gods, but by everything wanting. Everything. The leaf gropes sun, rock reaches for its inner bonds, fire eats. And somewhere in the world, there is a myrtle blossom, tender, vibrant, freshly bloomed and ripe, wanting you. Okay, how's your time looking? I have one more.
It's the same. I coordinated it.
No, it's
well.
exactly.
Actually, yours is
this was supposed to be the last, but if there's time, I'll do another one that's a minute
fine.
Something.
That's fine. I think we'll be able to do that.
I don't want to.
It'll be by a
I don't want to crush you, really. I just want to seem like I want to.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's as if you know all my fetishes. That was so inappropriate. All right, this is the last one in the book, but then there's one I'd like to end with if there's time.
Yeah, that's fine.
The year peels open like a tomatillo, slowly from the top. The sepals start out fresh and green-leafed, hiding the cold, sour fruit. But as the year matures and ripens, they dry to husk. And finally, the 5 sharp leaves unfold like a star. The fruit shines naked in its color, green, yellow, red, purple, a blend. Which is it? You should know, because you are that fruit, with all the year inside you. It's December. Time to rip yourself open and drop those seeds.
You're here.
If I may, this one is really, it's for all, well, it's for everybody. It's for all creatives too, especially for all writers. Because, we work, and then we show our work, and then we work some more, and we have a moment to show our work. We have this, which somebody might look at for a few minutes, but we often go to open mics and microphone, to readings, which I've been doing for 35 years myself, and, it's like, it's a lot. And reading is a lot. And you put your soul, you splatter it on the floor, or, ionize it anyway. This is sort of almost has a title called Notes at the End of a Reading Tour, because occasionally I've gotten to go on little tours. It doesn't really matter. Think about just readings that we do. Is that cool? Yeah. So, how do you put a bow on things when there are no bows? You don't. You let the baby run wild. We've had our reeds, we've set our fires, we've planted our seeds, and now it's time to let the roots take hold, the embers fly, the words make their way into minds and futures and other words. And how will we know what we've done in the end? We won't. Well, in a small way we will, through new connections, stronger connections, new submissions maybe, new books, new poems, and new words and words and words. And here's where we lose track. Words and acts and beings and words, because we've made a ripple. And who knows what a ripple really does. And I can only speak for myself here, because I'm not you or all of you, at least not in the immediate sense of this writing, but for my part, I welcome the books and the friends and the spaces and the words that those words spawn as they flutter into trees. And if somewhere in the distance, beyond my sight, beyond all our purview, as ripples are, one of those words lands in a brain and makes another word that makes the whole world sane for 1,000 years, or makes one person sane for a long smiling minute, then every breath has been worth it.
Yeah. Every breath. Thank you. I like that, Carlos. That's what Lauren do with books. No, don't. Fear not. I am not afraid.
Thank you. Richard Loringer, our feature for the evening with books here, so see him at the break. Give him another little quick round there. Just so you know, I'd take this opportunity to let you know who's coming next week. Indigo Hotchkiss, who's a longtime member of the community, artistic community in the Bay Area, and one of the founders of the Bay Area. I thought it was the Haight-Ashbury Poetry Journal. Thank you. I'm getting stumbling up here, even though I'm standing still. And after the break, we have Alice O'Neill, Nancy Wakeman, Jackie, the Clyde Allway Show, Hal Robbins, Philip Zimmerman, Alyssa, Michelle, Sierra, if she shows. We got Lulu, Cara Vida. I put you on here.
No, thank you.
Okay, well, okay, we'll take care. And we got Marco Harps in
You
there.
can't put Cara Vida on, she'll put you on, bro.
We've been there, we've done that. All right, so about 10 minutes, this thing will be off, so you may schmooze as you might like. Talk to our wonderful feature here and enjoy yourselves. I shall be back before I even think it's worth it.
Yes.
Interesting. Today on MSNBC, they had a representative from people who sit underground.